failing today. Failure. Failing. Hello, welcome back to Alicia Runs and Reads. I'm Alicia, and today we're going to be doing the intro for another episode of TEMP. This is a series I do on my channel, which I haven't been able to do the last few months because of all the readathons, but I'm taking time out this month to do that vlog. And in this vlog, we have 3 categories of books. It is essentially a read your TBR kind of a video, a non-haul it kind of a video, read or unhaul it video, and the like, except I do it a little bit differently. We have 3 categories of books. We have red books that are hot books that I am chomping at the bit to get to read that are on my physical TBR. We have books that are green. These are the mid books. They are going a bit stale, but they are not rotten yet. You can still eat them up really quick before you lose interest. So those are just like the books that I wouldn't mind reading any old time. I constantly go through these lists and change them up as my interests wax and wane. And then there are the cold books, the blue books, the books that are one step away from being unhauled, or I've even considered unhauling, books that I'm really not interested in anymore that I want to try out and get off my TBR. I have a spinner wheel. I spin. We read at least 3 books, sometimes more if I decide to get rid of something early and DNF things early. But let's see what I'll be reading this time. I have refreshed all my spinner wheels to see what I'll be reading. So we're going to spin for a blue book. Let me shuffle. Are we ready for a spin? We're not ready. We're not ready for a spin. There we go. That's what we needed. Let's see, what is it? It is The Lost Diary of Venice. Okay. I think that's some sort of a historical fiction I picked up for free a long time ago. Let's see. Do I even still have it, or did I unhaul it? I do not know. We'll find out shortly. Hold on a second. Okay, so this is going to be the blue book we start out with. This is The Lost Diary of Venice. This is some sort of a romance in the Renaissance, I believe, in Italy. 2 impossible love stories are fatefully connected by the one artistic legacy and a stunning debut that leaps between the mysteries of late Renaissance Venice and the dramas of present-day America. In the wake of her father's death, Rose Newland finds solace in her work as a book restorer. Then, one rainy Connecticut afternoon, a struggling painter appears at her door. William Lamazzo brings with him a 16th century treatise on art, which Rose quickly identifies as a palimpsest, a document written over a hidden diary that had purposefully been scraped away. Yet the restoration sparks an unforeseen challenge when William, a married man, and Rose experience an instant, unspoken attraction. It feels like old school kind of romance, maybe, but I don't think it was written in 2020, so it's not that old. But you know what? Stranger things have happened. I could love it. We're going to try it out and see. Worst comes to worst, I DNF. It'll be an easy DNF. All right, let's do the next one. We'll do green next. The books that I am okay with reading, but maybe am starting to lose interest in reading, or just ambivalent about. Spin for my mid book. We're just going to put it here because I don't feel like screen capturing it. What is it? Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Oh, Teen Kingfisher. That'll be a short, easy one. Let me grab it. You would think you would be with the other Tea Kingfishers, but you are not with the other Tea Kingfisher. Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Where are you hiding? I do not know. Stand by. Found it. Took me a minute. This is a middle grade, and it is about a baker who I think is somewhat of a witch as well. Wizard. 14-year-old Mona isn't like the wizards charged with defending the city. She can't control lightning or speak to water. Her familiar is a sourdough starter, and her magic only works on bread. She has a comfortable life in her aunt's bakery making gingerbread men dance. But Mona's life is turned upside down when she finds a dead body on the bakery floor. An assassin is stalking the streets of Mona's city, preying on magic folk, and it appears that Mona is his next target. And in the embattled city, suddenly bereft of wizards, the assassin may be the least of Mona's worries. Yeah, so I've always thought this one sounded super cute and fun, but it is middle grade, so we'll see how I feel about it. But from what I've heard, it is still really cute and really entertaining. So this will be our green book we start out with, and we have one more to go. We got to spin the red wheel. You ready? What is it? Oh, American Rapture. That is misspelled. The EN ended up on the end of Rapture for some reason. I don't know. Anyways, I know exactly where that is. So American Rapture is a horror by CJ Lead. It is a pandemic book, I believe. Not the pandemic book, but a pandemic book about a pandemic when everyone gets horny or something. And the main character was raised very religious and things get crazy. And people seem to like this one, but not everybody. Everyone who loved Mayfly, I think, was let down by this one. CJ Lead seems to write very different books from book to book. Headlights was very different from her previous two. This one is very different from Mayfly. So I'm curious to see how I feel about it. I liked Mayfly. I didn't love Mayfly. I think I gave it 3.5 or maybe a low 4. So I liked it. Headlights, I think I gave around the same rating. Didn't love. So we'll be curious to see where I land on this one. I bought this one quite a while ago. It is signed by CJ Lead, which is cool. So I will give this one a shot. It says, an outright assault of a novel. Lead has written a contemporary classic that stares down the terrors of our modern times and doesn't flinch. A virus is spreading across America. It says never been kissed, about to be screwed. A virus is spreading across America, transforming the infected and making them feral with lust. Sophie, a good Catholic girl, must survive the hellscape of the Midwest to try to save her twin brother while the world around her burns. Along the way, she discovers there are far worse fates than dying a virgin. It says American Gods meets The Last of Us. The American Gods meets The Last of Us. So I'm excited to see how I feel with this one. This is the only CJ Lead I haven't read yet. And so if I love it, that'll be wonderful. I'll keep picking things up from CJ Lead. If I don't love it, I don't know. I won't be rushing to read everything they write if I don't love this, because the other two have been good, but not like huge wins for me. Anyways, so these are the 3 books we will be starting with, and we'll see how I feel about them. We have our blue book, The Lost Diary of Venice. We have our mid book, our green book, which is The Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. And we have our hot book, which is American Rapture. We're going to start with these, and we'll see how things go. I'm not sure. Sometimes vlogs are a little chaotic, so we'll have to wait and sure. But I will speak to you when I have something to say and when I get into one of these books. I am about 20% into American Rapture by CJ Lead now. I'm about to go on a run. That's why I look like this. And I just wanted to update you because I'm going to listen to this a little bit more since I was able to get it through Hoopla on my run. So I want to make sure I update you before I get too far in. This is about Sophie, and she is part of a very strict Catholic household, and she goes to a Catholic school, and she has a brother named Noah who has been removed from the household, which we don't really know why at the beginning of this, but we do learn that. But his parents have decided that he is no longer their son and have moved him out and kicked him out of the house, and now he's in a facility for lapsed religious people, and Sophie misses him terribly. He's the one person in her life that she could really connect to, because she really doesn't have any friends. She really doesn't have any access to the outside world, no access to computers or news or even books or anything like that. She just sneak library books, but she is not supposed to. She has a lot of religious guilt and a lot of religious obsessions and compulsions as well. She is scared all the time that demons are going to take her over and she's going to get sent away like her brother, and she's going to be thrust into sin. She has a lot of religious fear and anxieties, and there is a backdrop of this pandemic that is spreading that she doesn't know anything about because her parents aren't allowing her to access the news or current events or anything like that. So she goes off to school and she doesn't have the information she needs to protect herself or to move about the world. And I'm liking this so far. This is my 3rd try for CJ Lead. I liked Mayfly. I think I mentioned this, and Headlights was okay. So I think this one will be more up my alley. I did grow up Catholic, not strict Catholic, but I did grow up going to Catholic church, and I had to go to catechism every week. So I had to do an hour of religious studies during the week. I was forced to go, well, First Communion I was okay with because I wanted a pretty dress and everything, but I was forced to be confirmed within the Catholic Church, which was not really my choice. It wasn't something I wanted or needed, but it was something my mother really wanted me to do, so I ended up having to do that. But Yeah, it examines a lot of purity culture in here and the guilt that girls feel and the pressures that are put upon them to stay pure and to not tempt boys with their feminine beauty that her mother tells her is a burden and a sin. So I'm liking this one so far. People are starting to get sick around her. She is starting to see people change. She says that there's just a change in the air, and yeah, I can't imagine having a pandemic be happening and not being allowed to know exactly what's going on and the updates and everything else. So I'm going to go run and I'm going to continue listening to this one. This is my hot book. This is my red book. This is the one that I was most excited to read for the TBR temp, and I probably will start the others, at least my blue book, the one I'm least likely to like, so that I can decide if this is one I'm going to be reading or one I'm going to be DNFing and unhauling. So that is the plan. I don't know what else we are going to get up to today. I think the weather's supposed to be nice, so I may get outside for a little bit. I would love to go to the lake or something, but my kids are indoor cats, which I understand because I definitely was that way as a teenager. But at the same time, they do need to get out of the house once in a while. Anyways, I'm going to go run, and I'll see you when I have something else to say. I'm going to DNF this. This was my blue book, my least wanting to read book, and I think I picked this up at the library. Or no, not at the library. I think I picked this up from a little free library like forever ago. And I don't really know why. I guess it sounded somewhat interesting, and the present timeline is somewhat interesting. However, the older 1500s timeline, I am not liking the way that he's talking about women, and I am not liking the writing style of it, and the book was not something I was all that interested in anyway, so I'm going to DNF this one and pick a new blue book since it was a quick DNF. So let's pick something new. I'm outside with the dog, with the wire. There's people working on our street today. If you can hear them, I apologize. The Chestnut Man. That is a horror thriller crime, maybe? But it's a pretty long one, I think. So I'll have to grab that and check it out. But since I'm out here, I'm going to read a little bit more of American Rapture until H2O inside. I am 50% of the way through American Rapture, and I don't know how much I'm liking this one. Like right now it's feeling like a 3, and that's making me sad, and I'm thinking maybe CG Elite is just not the writer for me. This is written in very fractured sentences, which isn't always my favorite, but it's not something that would make me not want to read a book at all. Sometimes I'm fine with it, but in this one, I don't know, maybe it's because we're in this teenage girl's head the whole time and she's making some real dumb decisions, like in this sort of a pandemic where people, as they are getting this disease, they are going manically, aggressively sexual, and there's lots of assaults in here and things like that because they are violently in pursuit of that. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. I'm just not really having any strong feelings of having a good time or not having a good time. And I know that there is a dog death in here that I hear is pretty brutal. And I don't know if I'm liking this enough to put myself through that. So if I should DNF this, because so many people seem to like it, but I'm thinking that maybe CJ Lead is just not an author for me. I think I gave Mayfly 3 stars as well. And I think I gave Headlights like 3.5. And this one, at this point, seems like a 3. So the question is, should I continue or should I DNF? I think I'm going to give it one more chapter. And if I'm not having any strong feelings one way or the other, I may DNF, because who's got the time? And then I get rid of 2 books in this video already, if that's the case. Oh boy. I also want to say that I've read several pandemic books that I have almost immediately felt invested in the characters, and in this one I really have not felt that way at all. A part of it is probably because she doesn't really have any connection to anyone really, except for this one guy that she met and in the library, and then this other man who is helping her. And so we're not really seeing any connections to them other than her connection with her brother, which hasn't been on page. So we're just, I think, counting on the fact that there's a sibling twin relationship there, and we're counting on the fact that the pandemic is pushing the emotion. And also I know that the dog dies, so yeah, that is also going to cause emotion. But I don't feel like this is doing enough for me to, I'm just not attached, I'm not invested, I don't care about these characters, and I don't know why that is, but for me, yeah, I'm just not feeling it emotionally at all. And I think that killing off a dog is a cheap way to get that emotional connection and emotion out of a reader. And I think sometimes it is necessary and done well. And I hear that it is, like, there's an author's note at the end that talks about it. And so I'm sure CJ Lead has good reasons. However, yeah, I just sometimes think it's a cheap shot by authors to get emotion out of a reader, and not always done in a way that is necessary, etc. But there's a lot of other things in here that are triggering as well. I mean, there is several scenes of people trying to assault others because they are infected. So, you know, there's lots of traumatizing things in here. It is horror, and I don't have like an issue with animal deaths in books. I mean, I don't love them, obviously, but at the same time, I do think sometimes it's a cheap way to evoke emotion. Anyways, I will let you know what I decide. Read another chapter. I'm DNFing this. This video is going well. We have 2 DNFs so far, and I mean, it's good for my physical TBR, I guess. I have this like side goal that I would like to get my physical TBR under 300. I have been failing at that. I've been reading a lot, but then buying a lot. And so, yeah, this helps though. So, I'm going to spin again. Go inside because I forgot my camera and I can't spin on my phone and camera at the same time. So we'll do that when I go inside, and we'll select another hot book. This is one of my red books that I wanted to get to. This is the 3rd time I've read CJ Lead and the 3rd time that I've been underwhelmed. And so I don't think I'm going to read any more of CJ Lead. I liked Mayfly, but unless I don't think I'm going to pick up any more from her, actually. I don't think she's the writer for me. I think Headlights I was more intrigued by, but ended up giving like a 3.5, and I liked Mayfly okay, and this one might have ended up being like a 3, but I'm not here for a 3-star. I'm not interested. I don't want to finish, and so I'm not going to. I'm DNFing. It's beautiful out today. It is low humidity, like in the 70s in the shade. Like I could actually put on a sweater. It's gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. So I'm enjoying that at the moment. And I'm going to start my green book, my mid book, which is A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. And then Chestnut Man, I did pull out, and I do have that on audio. So that will help because that's a big one. That's a 500 pager. That is, I think, a detective crime thriller serial killery type of book. I hear it's pretty dark, so that might be a winner. We shall see.
Press the backs of our hands together. It's still wet, so the ink should transfer. Meet me at the side door. We'll sneak on through the main floor. All night, let's take a shot. Keep moving and we won't get caught. Take the long way home. Tonight we're free to roam. Everything's gonna be alright. Just let go, enjoy the ride. To the top of the world tonight. We're never coming down. Never coming down. No, we're never coming down.
So I have started Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by T. Kingfisher. I love T. Kingfisher, so I figured this is probably going to be a good time, but it is middle grade, so it's not one I was in a super hurry to get to since I have so many of the backlist to get to from her. This is about Mona, and she is a 14-year-old girl working in her aunt's bakery. She is a magicker, but she can only do really small magics, like anything to do with bread. She can make gingerbread men animate, and she has a sourdough familiar named Bob, and he is carnivorous. He likes to eat rats, I guess. So one morning she is set to open up the bakery at 4 a.m. and there is a dead body in her bakery, and she doesn't know why she got there. And when the inquisitors come, they think that there is an air of magic around it, and since she is a magicker and she found the body, they take her to the Duchess to be tried for the murder of this person, but she is quickly acquitted because she couldn't possibly have done it with the magic that she has, and she is sent back. I'm assuming there's going to be some more dead bodies and some more magickers getting attacked and killed, which is what it says on the back with the synopsis. And so far this is really cute and heartwarming, and it has a good sense of humor, which I am enjoying. Magickers are a bit looked down upon here. These people who can do these less useful, less big magics, they are looked down upon by a lot of people. We don't really know why some people are magic and some people aren't. The people who can do magic that is useful to the military or to the Duchess, they work there. But other than that, if you have like these smaller magics, then people kind of look down upon you, whisper a little prayer because they think there might be something wrong with you. And so they have some prejudices held against them. But so far, I think this is going to be a cute one with interesting characters and some good humor. Okay, we need to do a quick spin for a red book, a hot book, because we DNF'd American Rapture, so we're gonna do a spin.
What was that noise? What was that?
Nyctophobia, so that is what I'm going to be reading. That is a horror book, so I'll go and grab that. So this is Nyctophobia, which I believe is the fear of the dark, and I remember Jordaline recommending this a while ago, and so I picked it up. It says, "It's a strange thing, nyctophobia. You're not born with it. It can start at any time. It comes and goes, and it's one of the only phobias you can transmit to other people. Newly married architect Callie and her wealthy husband Mateo have moved to a Hyperion house, a grand old home in southern Spain. It's an eccentric place built in front of a cliff, serene and beautiful, but eerily symmetrical and cunningly styled, so that half the house is flooded with light and the half, locked up and neglected, is shrouded in darkness, unemployed and feeling isolated. Callie was afraid of the dark, and now, with her adolescent nyctophobia returning, she becomes convinced there's someone in the darkened rooms." So yeah, haunted house, mysterious house story. And then the blue book I spun for earlier is The Chestnut Man. This is another thrillery, horror-y, detective, serial killery book. So, two creepy ones, I guess, continuing on with Summerween on purpose. Anyway, so I will try those two after Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, or tomorrow at some point. I'll probably start those while I'm still reading Wizard's Guide. We'll see. I'm about to go run again. I'm going to do 5 miles today. That is a goal. Fingers crossed. I did take my inhalers and my emergency inhaler. My doctor told me to take it half hour before I go out to see if it helps. So we'll see. But I thought I'd give you a little update first. I got 100 pages into, or about 100 pages. Yeah, 110 pages into A Wizard's Guide for Defensive Baking. Not really any more thoughts on this. It's still cute. It's still kind of cozy, but also a little violent as well. They had to go into the sewers, which is real gross. And Mona is discovering new ways to use her magic and bread and how she can make that useful in protecting themselves against this killer that's killing magical folk. And they're discovering that maybe the police are also involved or somehow wrapped up in this. But I'm still enjoying that one. And I did a little taste test of Nyctophobia last night. I think I'm like halfway into the 3rd chapter or something. Really liking this so far. This is really interesting. It's based in, I think, Spain, and really liking that one so far. I mean, nothing has happened yet. They're just looking at houses with a realtor, but just the way it's written and the way the characters' voices are. And so that's good. And I am like a couple chapters. These chapters are super duper short. So I'm a couple chapters into The Chestnut Man on chapter 5. Liking this one so far too. There's been already some gruesome things happen. It is centered around a serial killer. And so of course gruesome things are going to happen. This is a long one. This one's going to take me a bit. But so far these two, which are least wanted to read Blue Book and a most wanted to read Hot Book, are going better than both American Rapture went at this point, because that one just didn't enrapture me immediately, and it didn't really get better for me. At the 50% mark, I did decide to DNF that one, but these two already seem to be a little bit better just right off the bat. So that's good news. I'm going to go run 5 miles. You scared me. Stupid husband. He's making faces at me. Holy crap. Anyways, where was I? It's fucking me all up. Anyway, I don't know what I was going to say. Thanks. So anyway, my husband likes to distract me while I'm filming. I'm going to go run the 5 miles, and then I got to come home, shower. Maybe I'll have time to read a little bit, and then I'm taking my son and a friend out climbing. I gave him an ultimatum today because he hasn't been out of the house since we did that little hike. And I said, which was Monday and it's Friday now. And I said, either it's going to be a beautiful day. Either you make plans with a friend and, I'll bring you climbing. We can do something. I said, or you're going kayaking with me. What a horrible thought. He made plans with his friend. So I'm taking them rock climbing. And because he still has his membership until the 1st of August. So we'll get one more climb in for him and a friend. And then we'll probably go out to lunch. He usually likes to go to Dairy Queen. So I'll get to have a blizzard, which sounds delicious right about now. And then I'll come back and I'll get to read a little bit more, I think. I was trying to find something for my daughter to do today while we were out, like have a friend over or something, since my husband is working from home, but nobody is available. So she's going to be a sad girl. So when I get home, I'm going to try to do something with her, whether it's just around here or I don't know. But she's at the age where she doesn't like to do stuff with just me. She will, but it's not her favorite. Anyway, I will see you later.
We're never coming down. Never coming down. No, we're never coming down. Never coming got a good buzz going. I'm never
3-ish miles.
never coming down.
I'm back in my hammock. I took my son to his rock climbing with his friend, and then we went out for lunch at DQ. And now I'm sitting in my hammock. It's early, it's 4:30, so I figured I'd get some hammock time in. The dogs haven't really been out much today because I've been out of the house. My daughter has a friend over, so I've been reading a little bit while he was in rock climbing. I did finish The Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. I thought this was cute. I say it's like a middle 3, low 4, but it's middle grade, so I feel like I'm just going to push it to a 4 because I'm not really the intended audience, and I thought this was really cute and fun, and it's T. Kingfisher, and I like her writing, so I think I'm just going to put this as a 4 on Goodreads. I liked how it had a young person coming into their own, trying to figure out what exactly they wanted, trying to learn all their magic and discovering how strong they can be, and then, you know, trying to decide what their passion is after all that. And, you know, just because you can do something doesn't mean you want to do something. And yeah, I thought this was cute, and, you know, who doesn't like an animated baked goods? I am almost 100 pages into Chestnut Man. Let me check. I am 90 pages into The Chestnut Man, and I'm still liking this. This has several detectives we're following, homicide detectives we're following, who is trying to figure out what's going on with this killer who... And of course, my camera dies on me. Anyway, I'm 90 pages into The Chestnut Man, and this is following a couple of detectives, homicide detectives, who are trying to catch the serial killer who is leaving behind these chestnut dolls and killing women. That also is following, I think, some sort of a political person. So she works for Parliament, and her daughter was, we think, killed and abducted and killed by somebody. The person that they thought did it was in prison now, but they never found her body. Now a partial fingerprint of hers has been found on some of these chestnut dolls being discovered at these crime scenes. And there's also a young boy that stayed asleep during one of the attacks, and we're getting to know what's going on with him. And there is some sort of connection between the girl that was killed and him as well. So it's interesting. I'm liking it so far. I'm not like huge on crime novels, but this one involving a serial killer, it's more like a la Silence of the Lamb, one of those kind of books, which I did like. And we're following the main detective is like a really young female detective, so that's cool. And I'm liking this so far. It's definitely a long one, but I do have the audio, which will help. Then I am 53 pages into Nyctophobia, so not too far along, and I'm liking this one as well. We're following a couple. There's a 20-something-year-old, I think, and then she married pretty quickly a 40-something-year-old divorcee with a daughter, and they're moving into this new house that's really weird. It's built into the side of a mountain, I guess, and the front of it is all glass. Like, you can get sunlight everywhere in the front of this house. It's like a 360 or 180 whatever view, and it's gorgeous and very interestingly put together. And she's an architect, or an architect student, she was, and that her motivations for wanting to buy this house, she thinks it's neat and exciting, but it's in a very rural area. She was living in London, I think, and now this is in Copenhagen in Spain, something along those lines. And I think it's Spain. I think Chestnut Man was Copenhagen, actually. So this is in rural Spain, and she's used to being in the city, and so she is going to move out here with her new husband. I wonder if he's going to be getting up to some bad stuff, because he is married to someone who is much younger and is moving her out to a rural area it's just like an estate with like a maid house servant and like a ground servant as well. And, you know, just being moved out to a rural area when you are married to this guy that you haven't really known for all that long is fishy in this kind of a book. And what's weird about this house too is that it has these servant quarters at the back of the house where there is no electricity. There's not really any light either back there, because it's built in the back facing the mountainside, and so there's not really any light back there. So the doors are kept locked, and the servant has the keys, and we don't know what's going on back there because we haven't been back there at all yet. The real estate agent said that she should have had the key, but she didn't have the key, and that there was mostly used for storage because there's no light or electricity in back there, and it was used for servants' quarters back in the day, I guess. So we're just kind of moving in now and getting to know what's going on. But I'm liking this one a lot so far. Nothing really has happened yet, but I'm liking the way it's written. I am liking the setting. I think that's an interesting setting. And some of these doors that goes to like the back part of the house are like small, weird looking. Oh, also our main character, forget her name, Callie, she had something happen. We don't really know what that is, but something happened, a mental break or something like that. We know that she did self-harm. So there's something going on there that we are getting more backstory into. We need to do another green spin because I finished Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking. Let's see what we get. I probably won't start this one until I at least get through one of these though. Our Sister's Keeper. I don't know if I know what that is, but I will find out. Keep going. Briar. Hi. Come in to say hi to me. Hi. You're so beautiful.
those hands up for tonight again. Even in another lifetime, baby.
So I took my son to Six Flags today and dropped him and a friend off, and so I've just been like putzing around. I went for a walk by the river, I went to Barnes, I went to Panera, I read for a little bit, and I was just going to give you an update. I am over 50% of the way through the Chestnut Man. I don't know if you could see that. And I'm liking that one. It's a murder mystery. It's pretty dark. There is some child essay in it, and as well as abuse that is involving a serial killer. So they are just trying to figure things out, and the serial killer is like playing with them a little bit, which I like in a story. I think it adds a different aspect to it. It's not my favorite kind of thing, this kind of a book, but every once in a while it's kind of nice to just like read a little crime thriller, and when I do enjoy them, it tends to be the darker ones. So yeah, I'm enjoying it okay so far. I think it's going to be at least a 4. It's entertaining, and you know, it's got some aspects in there that I hadn't really seen before very much, so I'm enjoying that one. I am 161 pages into Nyctophobia, and I'm still really liking this one. We are just learning more about this house. She is studying the background of the house and some of its histories. She has some creepy things going on in like the back rooms of the house, the dark shadowed parts of the house, where she's finally gone into them. And she's had some weird things happen to her. She also she might be having some sort of hallucinations, but we're not really sure, because she also says that she is seeing like proof of it. Like there are bee carcasses or hornet carcasses where something she thought had happened, and then she saw them again. After the said hallucination might be happening, she is seeing things in these back rooms that are pretty creepy. So yeah, it's interesting. And also they thought the part of this house was an observatory, and then might have used to have had a telescope, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So we don't know like what used to be there if it wasn't a telescope. All very interesting. It is interesting to me that her husband hadn't even had her meet his daughter before moving her in, and then like just a few weeks later leaving her with his new wife. I mean, the daughter seems to be fine with it, but it's like you're in this isolated place and you're going to leave your child with this new woman. It's interesting choices. Anyways, I'm still liking this. I'm more than, yeah, about halfway, maybe a little over halfway through. It smells like peanut butter. I dropped a bunch of peanut butter on this book this morning because I dropped my English muffin, peanut butter side down, and it was very sad. I'm a hot mess sometimes when it comes to being clumsy. And then Our Sister's Keeper, I haven't started yet, but I did pull it out by Jasmine Holmes. And this is about a town where it's wealthy and it's all black, and it's a free town untouched by white oppression, where ambitious Thea, Elliot, and her husband plan to make good on their big dreams. Little do they know the idyllic town teems with ghoulish walking nightmares, and only the women can see. So I've heard good things about this, but not many people have read it yet that I've seen, but it definitely looked interesting. So I'm excited to start this one as well. This will be a green book, and I don't know if I'll pull any more choices for this vlog. It'll depend on how long this takes me. It is Saturday now, so if I can finish, I want this vlog to end by Wednesday, or go up on Wednesday or Thursday, so we'll see how long this takes me. Getting very hot in here without the air conditioning on. I'm gonna run into Marshall. I wanna get a blanket and then maybe go to a park that I like to go to while my son's at Six Flags and lay down in the shade and read. It's not too bad in the shade, but in the sun it is hot, but it's a nice day. It's like 80s and low humidity, so I wouldn't mind going back to the river and laying in the shade for a bit if there's a spot in the shade and it's not too crowded.
She grew up with love everyone would expect. Had an army behind her, got it from the opposite sex. Friends told her she was beautiful, so she gathered up her confidence, decided to go out on her own. She met you with the peak of her confidence, but all you cared about was what she said.
I also just wanted to say that in Nyctophobia, Callie's mother is a see you next Tuesday, like major. She is an awful person. She keeps like saying things under the guise of giving her advice or, you know, whatever, well-meaningness, but they're just like the most bitchiest, horrible things. And she even told her daughter like outright, like, you've ruined my career, etc., etc. She's like, oh, it's too bad you can't have children because of that horrible termination that you did when you were a teenager or whatever. It's like, yikes. She's an awful woman. I could see why Callie had some trouble with self-harming and possible suicide attempts and things. So there is talk of that in here. She does have a history of that. I think I mentioned that she has the history of being scared of the dark. And so of course this house bathed in light all of the time, except for during certain times of the day where the lights are all turned on so that it's never dark, completely dark. And then it has like the back areas, which don't have electricity and are always dark. So it's like, yeah, as long as she doesn't go back there, then she never has to be in the dark, but there are things in the dark. And I don't know if this is gonna end up being a metaphor for like there are always things that are hidden in the dark places, even when someone's life looks shiny and light. I don't know, but we'll see. I'm just at the park now. Just gonna sit here until my son calls me and tells me he's ready to be picked up. I'm back in the hammock. It is Saturday. Sunday? Sunday. It is Sunday now. I have finished Nyctophobia. I finished this morning, and this one's alright. So I would say the first half of this was a 4. I liked the concept. I liked the mirrored house in the back of the house that has no light and has no electricity and is always dark. And I liked some of the other aspects in it. It got very mildly culty, which I thought was fun. Then the second half of this book went down to a 2. I would say maybe 2.5. And so I think I'm going to rate it a 3, but I loved the concept of this. There are some truly creepy moments in this. I would compare this to, no, I'm not going to be able to remember it, the book with the life-size wooden people. This book, I'll have to look it up, that book. And that book I thought was super creepy in the first half, and then the second half it just didn't land for me. And I think I find that a lot with haunted house or haunted house adjacent books, where they could be creepy, but like you really have to stick that last quarter or last half of the book. For me, this kind of went up to a 4, and then like slowly went down a little bit, and then crashed at the end. So I think concepts were interesting. The environment is very original and interesting and just intriguing, and that kept me reading. But there's just some things like with the characters that didn't work for me, did not stick the landing for me. So I think I'm going to land on a 3. I don't know if I'll keep this or not. It's horror, so I might for a while and then unhaul it next time I want to do a horror unhaul. We still have my mother's dog, and she's still barking and driving me more than a little nuts. I'm sitting here with Briar, and she was throwing up last night. So we were up for about an hour last night with her cleaning up her messes, and she was very upset about it, weren't you, Briar? Weren't you? You don't like it when that happens. Nobody likes that. But then she gets, like, scared. She's like, oh, I'm in trouble. But she's not in trouble. She had Tommy. 50% of the way through this. As far as I could tell, this is a well-crafted crime, serial killer, thriller, but, you know, like, they're not my favorite. I think I already said this, like, not my favorite genre, but I am enjoying this one. It's interesting. I don't really have anything to say about it, though. So, I don't know. I think I might try to continue a little bit more of this one. I want to start Our Sister's Keeper, because I think this one might be more my alley than the other two, although I thought Nyctophobia would have been right up my alley, but it disappointed me. I also wanted to say that the themes of this book were definitely, like, stay out of the dark parts of your life. Don't examine things. Don't do work on yourself. And just, you know, pretend like everything is okay and you can, you know, be happy in your life. And just don't examine things that could be dark and you'll be fine. Stay in the light. Stay in the light. So obviously it's like a play on that idea that, you know, if you're not going to examine the darkness within you or within your own life, then it is going to end up being fake and possibly unfulfilling, but happy. So I need to update you on my reading. I finished The Chestnut Man, and I'm gonna give it a 3. I think 3.5. This is a strong psychological serial killer thriller. It is what it is. It did what it's supposed to do really well, but for my personal enjoyment, it's just not my favorite type of thing to read, or at least from the perspectives of detectives and things, it's not my favorite thing to read. But I think for what it was and what it is, I think it did it well. It's just not something I need to keep on my shelf. So that'll be an easy unhaul for me. But I did enjoy my time with it. I would recommend it, especially if that is your type of thing. Towards the ending, I definitely got, I think the biggest part is that it's just so long. Like 500 pages for a psychological thriller is a bit long in my opinion. So I think I'm gonna go unhaul it, and I only give it a 3.5 instead of like a 4. But it's a strong psychological thriller if it's something that you enjoy, and it is definitely a dark one. So if you like darker ones, then I would recommend that one. And wanted to update you on Our Sister's Keeper. I'm like 60-ish, no, not 60%, 60-ish pages into Our Sister's Keeper. And I am really liking this one so far. This one feels like it's gonna be a 4 or 5 already. It's just is striking up the intrigue, and with me, that makes no sense, but I am definitely intrigued by this one already. It gripped me right away. In this one, we were following, I think, 2 main characters. Whoop, I'm sliding away. So in Our Sister's Keeper, we are following 2 main characters, I think. Oh, this is set in the 1920s in an all-black town, by the way. I don't know if I said that. An all-black community, and it's supposed to be sort of like a black utopia where black men and women can live without racism because there are no white people around. And whoops, I am failing today. Failure, failing today. Failure, failing. Yeah, there are no white people around. We are learning that they also kind of live there for free, and there are insulated community. And yeah, it's giving a little bit of Stepford wifey because it's very patriarchal. She's already been looked down upon for wanting to work and wanting to write. She's a journalist, and her husband is going to be the principal at the school there. So she's supposed to like make babies and keep the home. And her husband does stick up for her. He says, you know, no, my wife is, you know, well educated and graduated and is a writer as well. And he kind of sticks up for her. Oh, I think I just started talking about the wrong character. I'm talking about Thea, more someone different. So I'm talking about Thea, and she's married to a man named Kid. And yeah, she is a journalist and a writer, and she's moved to this town hoping for, you know, a better life. But she did live a privileged life for a black woman of the time. She was living in DC, and she went to college, and she's well educated, and she's had a lot of things that people in Mississippi did not have. And so yeah, they're moving to this town called East Cobb. Like I said, it's an all-black town. And like, immediately when she starts getting there, she starts hearing like this woman screaming, but no one else can seem to hear it. When someone sees her panicking, this woman gives her smelling salt, like try to calm her down. And also when they enter this town, they have to have a physical, and they both got some sort of vaccine, some sort of experimental whatever. We don't know what that is. They say it's just for the flu, because Spanish flu was like just coming by at this time. You know, that pandemic had just happened. So she's seeing and hearing things that supposedly aren't there. She also got invited to a neighbor's house who has 7 kids and gave her these pills to help her sleep at night. So they're drugging these women very casually. There is also a girl named Maura. I don't know how old she is. She is a carer or carrier. Did I write it down? Carrier. So yeah, she's a carrier. So she's supposed to carry the pain and painful memories of the men in the town. So they will have these sessions where sort of like it reminds me of The Giver, where these girls will take their memories away and carry those bad, harmful things for them. But then we learn that some of these girls are dying because it's just too much. So it is a dangerous thing to be a carrier, and we don't really know how these girls are chosen or when they're chosen or what that's all about. And then we come to learn that there is this doctor named Dr. Grimm, and he owns the land. And guess what? Is he black? No, he's white. Of course he is. And Dr. Grimm, which is a very apt name, I'm assuming, because although he is saying that he's started this town to take the bad memories of these black men to uplift them and put them on a better playing field with white men, he is also obviously experimenting on them with maybe the shot they gave her, these pills they gave Thea, and also obviously on these men and Maura, who is a carrier, and taking away all this pain, and he's using up these girls and women until they can't take anymore. The men think this town is great and wonderful and amazing because they are getting all their bad past and bad memories taken away away and are being left light and airy and happy when the girls who are the carriers are suffering, and then the housewives are seeing these things called the groanings. We don't really know what that is exactly, but Dr. Grimm does mention that housewives are seeing the groanings, which I don't know if they're actual creatures or if they are just memories and things that the other people of the town, or at least the men of the town, can't see because their unhappy memories are taken away. So yeah, lots of themes of course, racism in here and experimentation on the Black community and slaves, former slaves after slavery was abolished. And yeah, so I am liking this so far. Lots to talk about for only 60 pages in, and I think it's gonna be a winner. Oh, and I also wanted to talk about how Thea's husband, he talks about how he loves this town so far. He went to like a meeting with Dr. Grimm and he just felt so light and refreshed and amazing after. And he talks about how in this town he can be a man. He's not a Black man, or as all Black men are called a lot of times back then, boy, you know, hey boy, help me with my bags. Hey boy, get out of the way, or whatever. He can be a man. And that struck me and made me sad. And it's like, you feel for these men, but this is going to be a case of too good to be true, I'm sure. And it almost made me think of this book a little bit, because this was also about not looking at the darkness and the dark things in life and just forgetting about them so that you can live in the light and the happiness. Sorry I didn't talk too much about the Chestnut Man, but I don't feel like it. I don't really have much to say about it. I am on sprints right now. We have 30 minutes left, so I want to read a little bit more. Also, I did try the audiobook for Sister's Keeper, and I'm not liking it. I'm definitely liking the physical reading experience much better. I'll let you know when there's something else to say. I'm 200 pages into Our Sister's Keeper now. I'm about to go on a run, so I'm in my running gear. I am still really liking this. I am liking the commentary on generational trauma and all the burdens that Black men and Black women have had to bear. The idea of taking away these burdens from Black men and putting them on not their wives, but these random women that are suffering and dying for the cause. And it's just an interesting thing to think about and to examine. It speaks on generational trauma and these traumas being passed down to those around us and those around them, and just how bad it is. And these carriers, they don't only carry the memory, they carry the pain, the physical pain. They heal a lot faster than like if something were to happen in like the current present timeline, but they are feeling this physical pain. And at one point, one of the carriers goes to the hospital, and she is carrying a memory of the first time that he was whipped by his slave owner, and she is feeling this pain on her back, and she throws up. And the nurse says, "I'm busy, can you clean up this mess?" as she is laying there in like so much pain. So these carriers are lied to and brought here under false pretenses and told they're going to have a better life and that they will serve their time and be able to leave, but then no one ever leaves. Yeah, I'm finding this to be interesting and sad and emotional, but I am really liking it. And then there's also Tia, who is, being told to ignore things that she is seeing. She keeps seeing these groanings, and, we're slowly discovering what these groanings are and that whether or not the other wives can see them. And, this experiment has been going on for a while. They've tried other things. They've tried the wives taking on these burdens. So I'm really liking this so far. I think it's going to be at least a 4-star. I'm going to go run. I'm going to continue listening to it because I have it on Hoopla. I'm preferring physically reading it, but at this point I know how I feel about it when I'm physically reading it. So listening to it is not going to affect me, but I will go back to physically reading it when I'm done running. I'm going to read this on my run, come back, shower, go to the library. I have Rejection to pick up from the library and to check out the cart for summer reading, see if there's any more free book, pick up my daughter. That's the plan. Oh, and groceries. I did my grocery order. I got laundry done and folded. I just have to put it away. We are productive today. Mondays. I gotta be productive on Mondays. It's important. Otherwise I start feeling all because on the weekends I don't really do a ton of the cleaning. I try to concentrate on the family and my husband and all that good stuff. Anyways, I'll see you later. Finished Our Sister's Keeper. I actually finished this last night, so I'm in my morning accoutrement right now. So glasses, hair, a mess, So I finished Our Sister's Keeper last night. I feel like this is somewhere between a 4 and a 5. I don't have a 5-star feeling from it, but I think this is really, really strong, and it's a debut, and that's incredible as well. So I am looking forward to seeing whatever Jasmine Holmes comes up with next. This is a mix of fiction slash sci-fi horror that I really, really enjoyed. There's a little twisty twist in here that I didn't, well, I saw coming a little bit. I considered it, and then I kind of dismissed it, but I did consider it at one point, but I thought it was well done, and I wasn't expecting like too many twisty twists in here, but that was fun. And yeah, I really appreciated the discussion on Black women, and often seen as angry Black women, and unless the wives are told to don't be angry Black women, don't strive for more, just be thankful that we're not slaves anymore and we can push our men forward and make them be successful. And don't burden them with anything. Just keep that to yourself. And it's about, the housewives, and, they're taking their little pills and they're not looking at the woman in the groaning. They're not looking at the groaning in the corner. They're ignoring it, screaming, look at me, look at me. And they're just not going to burden anyone with any of their problems, especially their husbands, because they are very fragile Black men, and they must do whatever they can so that they can be successful. And this is all because Dr. Grimm has their best interest at heart, right? He wants to uplift the Black men, to put them on a level playing field with white men and help them with their burdens and their memories of these horrible things that have been done to them in history. Dr. Grimm, that white man who owns this land, of course, has ulterior motives. The ending of this I liked as well. I like that it was a satisfying ending. We don't always, in life get that, but it was nice to see here. I feel like it's just not a 5-star because there is some points that did get a little repetitive, but in my memory, if this sticks with me for a little bit, I could definitely see myself bumping it up, but it's more than a 4.25, 4.5, definitely worth reading. I think it doesn't bump for a 5 for me because some of the commentary is a little bit on the nose. She wants to make sure that the reader understands what is being said here, but at the same time I think there's a lot more being said here than what is directly said, and it didn't bother me too much. So definitely over a 4-star. And I feel like there's a lot to say here, but my brain is not working anymore. So in this vlog I read or tried 6 books. I DNF'd American Rapture. I DNF'd The Lost Diary of Venice. I gave Our Sister's Keeper 4.5 stars. I gave Nyctophobia 3 stars. I gave Wizard's Guide to Baking 3.54 stars. And I gave The Chestnut Man 3 stars. So I think this was a pretty successful vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought, what you're reading, all of the above, and I will see you next time.